Hello, Bobs. We're back with some more great material for the internet. So, Bobs, earlier I was looking on Facebook. One Ain cursed ass book. It's not cursed, buddy. It's just a book. Listen to this though, buddy boy. The power of the witch. There was a current belief that witches could sail in an eggshell, a cockle, or mussel shell through and under the tempestuous seas. By Reginald Scott, The Discovery of Witchcraft, 1584. And it's convenient that I posted this on my Facebook like 6 years ago, and it showed in my memories today. And that's a good thing because I saw on a website that book is actually for sale. The first edition copy of Reginald Scott's The Discovery of Witchcraft. And it is only $150,000. And you, as Good Samaritan, should chip in and buy it for me so I can have it. Look at this book. It's fucking brilliant. You won't buy that for me? Witchcraft isn't. There's no such thing as witches. Just because some 25-year-old girl who likes to get naked in the woods believes she's a witch doesn't mean she's a witch, buddy. Betty what? Betty see shit. Anyway, all that aside, even if it is true and the book's cursed, I still want it. So donate $1 to $2 million to me so I can buy a copy of this and then get a yacht too. Look at these illustrations. These are brilliant. $15.84 copy. The Discovery of Witchcraft. They're even using that weird S. This book was actually a dissertation on the fact that the witchcraft trials which were taking place were, I can't lick your book, bookie. Do it, buddy. You owe me $13 million. Look at that. He's Edless, bruv. And on the other side, this name, Agla. It's Agla. A type or figure of the circle for the matter and his fellows. The definition of the date and the planetary regiment. There's that headshot again. Yeah, so this book's available. Let's read what it says here. The Discovery of Witchcraft. Reginald Scott's The Discovery of Witchcraft stands brightly out amid the darkness of its own and the succeeding age as a perfectly unique example of sagacity amounting to genius, for the clearness of his views and the unwavering steadiness of his leanings to the side of humanity and justice. W.T. Gardner. In the 16th century, witch hunters scoured Europe in search of those who they believed were dabbling in the dark arts. In 1584, one man, Reginald Scott, spoke out against this toxic mix of superstition, fear, and ignorance, and doing so, he helped shape history and also produced the first book in the English language to present detailed descriptions of magic. Extremely rare first edition of this far-reaching expose that provoked King James, inspired Shakespeare, and was the first significant work to document the secrets of illusion and the occult. A magnificent copy from the Bibliotheca Lindisiana. The Discovery of Witchcraft, written by Reginald Scott in 1584, upended many 16th century beliefs in Britain about witches, superstition, spirits, and magic. Scott proves that what was believed to be witchcraft was little more than illusion and delusion. Infuriated by a ridiculous 1581 witchcraft trial, Scott, in the Discovery, challenges popular beliefs about dark magic, providing diagrams documenting the performance of staged illusions previously ascribed to witchcraft. Read The Discovery of Witchcraft. The evidence presented in this pivotal work angered political and religious leaders, gave inspiration to literary masters of his era, and contributed a blueprint to future generations of magicians and practitioners of the dark arts. Consulting hundreds of treatises in Latin and English, studying various scripture, and visiting courts of law in districts where witchcraft prosecutions occurred, Scott collected evidence that witchcraft had neither a rational nor a religious basis. He asserted that the biblical terms which had been translated as witch did not, in their original languages, share the associations ascribed to them in contemporary witchcraft discourse. Thus, one pillar of Scott's work is the undermining of the scriptural argument for the execution of witches, and further blaming the Catholic Church for encouraging dangerous superstitions. Scott also contends that spirits cannot take human form nor interact with humans, and consequently, that the link between spells cast by so-called witches and any unpleasant events spuriously attributed to witches is entirely coincidental. As set out by one of Scott's recent biographers, David Wooten, Scott explains the witch phenomenon as resulting out of a particular type of social encounter. Old women begging for food or other assistance would curse their neighbors when they were turned away empty-handed. If something bad then happened, the death of a child perhaps, the old woman would be taken to be a witch. Those who confessed to being witches were either deluded or the victims of torture, mere fable and fiction. Published during the Scientific Revolution, Scott's lengthy and unrelenting work contributes to a period in which intellectuals were redefining rationality and questioning of old beliefs. Defying both church and state, he labels those who believed in witches as heretics and those who claimed to be witches as mentally ill. Read widely in the late 17th centuries, The Discovery of Witchcraft became an often cited reference for those who doubted the existence of witchcraft. James VI, King of Scotland from 1567 to to 1625 and later King of England from 1603, was outraged by Scott's opinions and penned his objections in his 1597 Demonology, the three-book treatise in which the king holds that witches are not only real but pose a substantial threat to the realm, is a defense of the practice of witchcraft prosecution and a guide for identifying and trying witches, combined with his writings on a vast array of topics, ranging from his views on poetry to his distaste for tobacco. James VI's response to rising skepticism towards the presence of witches in Britain, chief among them being Scott's discovery, is a central part in his project of text production throughout his reign, second only as an expression of his theology to his commission of the King James Bible, published in 1611. According to legend, on the occasion of his accession to the English throne in 1603, King James VI and I called for all, or as the N1, and I called for all copies of The Discovery of Witchcraft to be destroyed. While there is no contemporary evidence to support this story, which first appeared in 1659, The Discovery was continuously denounced by fellow authors of witchcraft throughout the 17th century. Almond, King James I. These factors contribute to its scarcity today, especially in complete form. While Scott set out to disprove the existence of witches, the comprehensive scope and originality of this text allowed it to become a popular source preserving supernatural practices of this period, incidentally creating an early how-to guide for would-be magicians. Shakespeare read The Discovery of Witchcraft, and it is often cited as an inspiration for the witches of Macbeth, Puck in A Midsummer's Night's Dream, and the mock trial on King Lear. Thomas Middleton's The Witch also drew inspiration from Scott's work. In addition to witchcraft, Scott's text describes the history of magical illusions and conjuring, topics and themes frequently appearing in Elizabethan literature. Scott's The Discovery of Witchcraft remained a much-used source throughout the 17th and 18th centuries, and is one of the few primary sources for the study of witchcraft today. In the modern era, David Copperfield credits Scott with being the first to document the secrets of the conjurers, and has acquired one of the known copies for his museum's collection, and Copperfield devotes a chapter in his History of Magic to the importance of Scott's tome. Provenance. The front paste-down features the Bibliotheca Lindisiana bookplate, which displays the achievement of the arms of the Earls of Crawford, instituted under his name by Alexander William Lindsay, 25th Earl of Crawford. The Bibliotheca Lindisiana, built upon centuries-long tradition of book collecting in the Lindsay family, dating back to John Lindsay, Lord Menmuir, who served as a trusted ally of James VI's. What resulted is generally considered to be the finest private library of 19th century Britain. Beneath the Lindisian bookplate is an earlier armorial bookplate of the Pennington family, and the copy also features an early ink stamp on page 1 of Sir William Pennington, 1st Baronet of Muncaster. William Pennington. In 1811, the 24th Earl of Crawford married Maria Pennington, daughter of the John Pennington, 1st Baron Muncaster. John Muncaster had no sons, and so while his titles passed to his brother, his inheritance, including his book collection, appears to have joined the Lindsays at this time. The Pennington Library formed the nucleus for the Bibliotheca Lindisiana in the 19th century. As William Younger Fletcher, former librarian in the British Museum's Department of Printed Books, wrote in 1902 a basis on which the late Earl of Crawford, who was born in 1812, built up the present library, which will be always associated with his memory. At the turn of the century, the 26th Earl, who had helped his father build the library, made a project of producing catalogues in the numerous volumes they had amassed. Much of the library began to be dispersed at auction within his lifetime, with a number of sales at Sotheby's in the 1880s and 1920. The Discovery of Witchcraft, London, Henry Denham for William Brome, 1584. First edition, small, 4 TO, 5 3/4 by 7 3/4 inches. Early full mottled calf with blind tooling. Leather spine label, marbled end papers, speckled edges. Housed in full custom leather box matching binding. Text in Roman and black letter with side notes in italic. Woodcut head and tail pieces, historiated and floriated initials. Woodcut illustrations, including 4 full-page woodcuts inserted on unnumbered pages. Between quires DD and EE. Complete with early library docking number 194 written on outer text block edge. Nearly invisible repair to joints. Evidence of bookplate removed on front free end paper. Very faint damp staining to early leaves. Overall text extraordinarily clean. A remarkably well preserved copy with impressive provenance of a notoriously scarce work. $150,000. The train is impressed. Let's take a look at this book again. Kind of want to do this. Look at this. And there's his head, and there's his body, and there's the fire. What order is to be observed for the practicing hereof with great admiration? Read page 349 to 350. Discovery of Witchcraft. There it is, 194. Biblioteca Lindisiana. The Discovery of Witchcraft. Look at that page. Why can't I have it, bruv? Oh, I need it, bruv. Look at this. Wherein the lewd dealing of witches and witchmongers is notably detected, the knavery of connoisseurs, the impiety of enchantors, the folly of soothsayers, the impotent falsehood of coveners? Cousiners? I don't know what that is. The infidelity of atheists, the pestilent practices of Pythonists, the curiosity of figure callers, the vanity of dreamers, the beggarly art of alchemistry. Alchemistry? I don't know. The abomination of idolatry. I want this page. I need it, buddy. need it. Fucking. Well, bro, you had your chance.